talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. She's nestled in the sand hills on a river called Cakefield. Special to so many who proudly served our country here. She was named for Lafayette and known for cotton mills. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. Babe Ruth hit his first one, heard around the world. Sherman marched with the Union and burned the arsenal. Old Market House still standing, but stands for freedom's will. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. My all-American city, Fayetteville. Talking about my hometown, Fayetteville.
January 13th, 2020, Fayetteville City Council meeting. At this time, we'll ask that Pastor Jeff Eisenhower from Aaron Lake Baptist Church, if he would come to the podium. Ask that all would please rise for the invocation, following which, if you could please remain standing and let's repeat in unison the Pledge of Allegiance.
An honor and privilege to be here tonight, Mr. Mayor, and so let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, you have ordained government. Lord, you ordain leaders, and we are to pray for our leaders. And Father, we lift up our mayor, city council, and even everybody here this evening. We lift them up to you, Father. Lord, prayer does what you do, Father. And prayer is not preparation for the work. Prayer really is the work. And so, Father, we thank you that we have the privilege of living in this nation. And Father, we love our city, and we just thank you for the privilege of being part of it all. And Lord, we ask your blessings upon these proceedings tonight, for it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, thank you for the wonderful prayer. Thank you for joining us tonight. Can you tell the listening audience a little about yourself and your ministry?
Yes, sir. I have been pastor of Aaron Lake Baptist Church for a little over 30 years, and love it as much tonight as I did 30 years ago, and you ain't going to find a handful of preachers that can say that. And that says more about the church than it does me. But we are a multiracial, multi-generational church, people from all range of life and all backgrounds. And so just, we love being part of the city and want to try to have a greater impact. We had we had a fire not long ago, just a small fire in one of our buildings. And I got to thinking, I said, if Aaron Lake Baptist Church burnt down tomorrow, our people would care, but would the city of Fayetteville care? And that's a burden on me. And so anyway, we want to make a greater difference. We have ministered to thousands, literally thousands and thousands of military families through these last 30 years. We do about 80 to 90 backpacks for our children over across the street at Brentwood Elementary and also 71st Middle School. We're involved in homeless ministries and those kind of things. So it's just a great privilege to be a part of there's no such thing as a perfect church. As long as I'm pastor there, it won't be. So, but it is a privilege to be a part of pastoring in this city where we get to minister to people from all over the United States. And so we love it.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a staple in the community in Western Fayetteville, and certainly Fayetteville absolutely cares, and look forward to the partnerships.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, Council, we will have a few announcements and housekeeping items. Before I turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem to introduce our special guests, I'd like to also acknowledge special guests in our audience. We have former Councilwoman Mabel Smith. If we can give her a round of applause. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Smith. All right, at this time, I'll turn over to Mayor Pro Tem Jensen to introduce our very special guest and a golden bull.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to introduce Gigi Bobo from E.E. Smith High School. The mayor was very excited when he saw this today. She is a senior, and she is the chair of the Recreation Committee. So I'm going to let you take over.
So I want to first start off by saying a Happy New Year's from the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council. And we are very excited about the new decade. We have many service projects scheduled for the spring, and we're starting off with our anti-littering project, which is a meme contest next week. One of our biggest goals is promoting anti-littering in our community. When we don't litter in our community, it becomes an even more beautiful place. And then it starts with the youth. We have tasked each school represented in FCYC to participate in our meme contest. The goal is to come up with the best anti-littering meme and to share on social media promoting recycling and reusing in our community. Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council looks forward to working with this new council in 2020, and thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. A round of applause for. Thank you for joining us. At this time, we would like to also recognize Dr. Robin Putstay and the FTC Horticulture Club. Can you all stand? And apologize if I mispronounced your name in any way. But thank you for what you do in our community and making it beautiful. So can we give them a round of applause for And we have some other recognitions. So at this time, I will ask that I'll defer to Mayor Pro Tem, and I'll ask Councilmember Davis, if he would, to meet Mr. Eric Redrick and the staff of Cumberland County Veterans Services Department. If you can meet Councilman Davis at the podium. And then I think prior to that or after, like Penny Calculatus, if she would also, I think she has some presentations for the Veterans Services Department. So, Councilman Davis or Mayor Pro
Okay,
Tem?
I would like to read the proclamation. Whereas more than 50,000 veterans live in Cumberland County, and whereas the Cumberland County Veterans Services Department works tirelessly to provide the veterans with local place to obtain advice and benefits, and whereas the Veterans Services Department also assists veterans, spouses, and dependents, helping to relieve confusion regarding the regulations and policies governing veterans' benefits. And whereas in fiscal year 2018, the Cumberland County Veterans Services Department holds the #1 position in state. And whereas out of 100 counties in the state of North Carolina, the Cumberland County office has been deemed the best. And whereas with their small, hardworking staff of 7 individuals, including Eric Reddick, Michael De La Rosa, Caroline, I'm not even going to say it. Thank you. Jody Rodriguez, something Miss Bland. Sorry, Randall Blackburn and Todd Shockley. His prestigious position is certainly one of to be congratulated and praised. And now, therefore, I, Mitch Colvin, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council and the 208,000 residents, do hereby proclaim January 13th, 2020, to be the honor of Cumberland County Veteran Services Department. Mayor Mitch Colvin.
Well, thank you all for the service that you provide to our community. I think that wouldn't go too far. I think Ms. Penny is coming to make another presentation to you.
Thank you, Mayor Colvin and your council for allowing us to be here tonight. All distinguished guests and our citizens, we're here to pay honors to our veteran service officers. They do a whole lot. They're here to help you gain your benefits, help your families find out what they're entitled to, help your children find out about scholarships. They do that and so much more. It would take hours to take what they do in that office into consideration. So I'm not going to say a whole lot because I know the council has a lot to do. But I am Penny Kakalitis, and I am the president of the Cumberland County Veterans Council. I'm a United States Marine. So, they get trouble at the helm. But if I will read the names, and I'll read the citation, and my secretary will pass out these certificates. Our certificate is for outstanding dedication and service as a veteran service officer in the Cumberland County, North Carolina. Their contributions have had a positive impact on the community and have served as worthy examples for others to follow. The Veteran Service Office is outstanding performance, exceptional diligence, loyal devotion and to duty, and reflect great credit upon themselves, and is in keeping with the highest standards of service to our veterans. Their actions are highly instrumental, in no small part, to the Cumberland County Veterans Service Office being selected as the best service office in the state of North Carolina for 2019 for the second year in a row. So 18 and 19, that's such an honor to this county out of 100 counties to have our wonderful team to take care of us. Eric Riddick. Joni Rodriguez.
Thank you. I'm gonna hand it that way so you can take a
Randall
picture.
Blackburn.
And I'm gonna get out of the way.
And we have Michael De La Rosa, Carolyn Quinones, and Monisha Bland, and Todd Shockley, who are not here tonight, but will receive them at a later time. We thank you for all you do. And Mayor, if you will join me at my council meeting in February, I have pins for all your council. I took your advice.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for the work that you all provide to our community. At this time, we would like the president, Ms. Shicelle Williams Graham, president of Zeta Phi Beta, and Dr. Kathy Waddell, and I guess the ladies of Zeta, if you all would rise, I'll meet you at the dais, at the podium. I'll turn it over to Council Member Waddell, I think is going to read the proclamation.
Whereas Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is an international community service-driven organization that was founded on January 16, 1920 in Washington, D.C., on the campus of Howard University as the sister organization of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity by 5 co-eds, Arizona Cleaver Stemmons, Myrtle Tyler Faithful, Viola Tyler Goings, Fanny Petty Watts, and Pearl Anna Neal. And whereas these women dared to depart from the traditional coalitions for African American women and sought to establish a new organization predicated on the precepts of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. And whereas the founders planted an idea that was guided by their core values and has carried forth around the world by more than 800 chapters and 150,000 members strong for more than a century now. And whereas the Gamma Upsilon chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was chartered in Elizabethtown, North Carolina on May 2, 1950, the national body of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated recommended that Gamma Upsilon Zeta chapter be moved from Elizabethtown, North Carolina to Fayetteville, North Carolina, in order to be centralized, promote scholarship and academic excellence, sponsored community service projects, and organized social and networking programs in Cumberland County. And whereas the Omega Beta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was chartered at Fayetteville State Teachers College in Fayetteville, North Carolina on May 10, 1952, in 1969 the institution acquired its present name, Fayetteville State University. Omega Beta chapter have worked tirelessly to provide critical services and support to our communities. And whereas with 87 professional and community engagement-oriented women, the Gamma Upsilon Zeta chapter has proven to be a dedicated community partner for positive change and will continue to remain steadfast in its commitment to empower, uplift, and serve our city's residents. And whereas January 16, 2020 will mark the 100th anniversary of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Now therefore, I, Mitch Colvin, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and on behalf of the City Council and more than 208,000 citizens, do hereby congratulate Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated and the Gamma Upsilon Zeta chapter and Omega Beta chapter for its commitment to the community of Fayetteville during this 100-year celebration, and proclaim the week of January 12th to January 18th, 2020 as Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated Week. And I further encourage all residents to join me in congratulating this community-conscious, action-oriented organization for 100 years of service. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the City of Fayetteville to be affixed this 13th of January 2020.
Greetings, I am Shicelle Williams Graham, the president of Gamma Upsilon Zeta chapter.
And I am Kayla Stansel, the president of the Omega Beta chapter at Fayetteville State University.
It is a privilege for Mayor Colvin and the City Council and our community for acknowledging us and allowing us to provide services in our community, because without our community, there will be no Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And we appreciate the fact that you allow us to do what we need to do to make a difference in our community's lives. And we deeply, truly appreciate it, because service is in our heart, and that's what we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, do y'all want to come and go around, and then they can get a great picture of it?
Yeah, so I can be in it.
Yeah, and we're photobombing. Yeah. They can get, right, there you go. I don't think they took plenty. You're fine. They got their pretty coats on. They're getting ready to go to Washington, have them a big time this weekend.
3, 2, 1.
You guys look amazing, by the way. Really nice.
Thank you, ladies, and also have to acknowledge the Sigmas that are in the audience. Thank you, gentlemen, for the great work you all provide to our community. At this time, we'll ask that Mr. Robert Van Giens, President and CEO of Fayetteville Economic Development Corporation, Ms. Christine Michaels, President of the CEO of the Greater Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce.
Whereas all municipalities of Cumberland County, North Carolina have teamed up together to increase awareness of business opportunities for local vendors. And whereas millions of dollars will be spent annually to these local organizations in their efforts to increase business with local vendors, promote a diverse and viable economy to raise awareness of the need for local vendors, suppliers, and contractors. And whereas a building business rally is taking place January 30th, 2020, to educate and engage with local businesses on how to do business with these organizations and the types of goods and services each organization needs. And whereas the Building Business Rally will also provide valuable information from a variety of local and state resources that support business growth, and as well as assist local vendors in preparation for such an event to increase knowledge and business opportunities within our local economy. And whereas the City of Fayetteville is proud to show support for local business and contractors of Cumberland County and surrounding areas. Now, therefore, I, Mitch Colvin, on behalf of the City of Fayetteville, of the City Council, do hereby honorably proclaim January Building Local Business Month and encourage residents to spread the word and local businesses, suppliers, professional services, providers, and prime and subcontractors of all sizes to participate in the Building Business Rally, January 30th, 2020. In witness thereof, I hereundo set my hand in cause of the Great Seal of the City of Fayetteville to be affixed this 4th day of November, 2019. Mayor Mitch Colvin.
Just a little bit more about the rally. As it was said, it's Thursday, January 30th. It's at the Ramada Plaza on Owen Drive, and that is from 2 to 6 p.m. This event is entirely free to participate, and we're just encouraging all of our local businesses to come out and check out these vendor booths because these are our prime opportunities to do business and to keep business local. And it is not just for people who put down asphalt or do construction. This is for every type of business and the needs that these various vendors have. So we encourage folks to come on out again, January 30th, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Ramada Plaza.
And we appreciate this recognition of this exciting event. I think it's important to note that a lot of the initiation of this started with PwC, and while they are willing to take credit for it, they do deserve it. But for our citizens, so they understand what we're trying to do here, the city supports local business, the county supports local business, our hospital supports local businesses. All these partners coming together, we combined spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And if we have to go outside of our community, we are exporting that wealth to other people. And so where our public dollars are spent, where our nonprofit dollars are spent, if we can spend them here, how much better off would we be? And so our hope is by having events like this, by educating our entrepreneurial and future entrepreneurs about the opportunities here, that we can build that ecosystem, keep those dollars local, and churn that funding through our local economy, keeping that wealth and building new entrepreneurs and building businesses. So thank you again for your support of this.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, before you go, I just wanted to let everybody know that I think last year was the first year, if I'm not mistaken, is that, or is this?
Couple years.
I'm sorry, the fourth year, first year that I got the opportunity to go. But I will say, I wanted to tell a story about how there was a gentleman that was a business owner that came in and said, I don't know what I'm doing here. Someone just told me I probably should just come. I don't see where I will get any business from this. And I think within 6 months, he started getting contracts, never thought he would, and I think he ended up hiring like 10 people after that, and his business was growing. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, even though you think that you might not belong there, get uncomfortable and go check it out if you are a business owner. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I think we have all of our recognitions covered. At this time, we will get down to the business of the council tonight. Item 5.0 is the approval of the agenda. Councilman Wright, it's good to see you again, sir.
It's good to be here, Mr. Mayor, and I approve the agenda.
So there's a motion by Councilmember Wright to approve the agenda. There's a second, I suppose, by Councilmember Dawkins. Any discussion on the motion? All right, council, I'll look to you for your votes. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Item 6.0 is the consent agenda. Councilmember Waddell.
Thank you, Mayor Colvin. I move that we pull item 6.010 for further discussion and a separate vote.
All right, there's a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 6.010. There's a second by Councilmember Banks McLaughlin. All right, any discussion on the motion? All right, council, I'll look to you for your votes. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Motion carries. Item 6.010, Councilmember Waddell.
Thank you, Mayor Colvin. I ask that this be pulled due to the legislation text and some verbiage in the legislation text under the work session discussion section. I'm just asking that staff would come up and give a little bit more clarity to those who may have read the legislation text and had some questions on what the additional funding sources were, to provide some clarity on that and maybe a little background on a bit of that discussion before we take this vote, so that the general public and those who have reviewed this legislation text understand. So thanks, Christoph.
All right. Deputy City Manager Bauer.
Thank you, sir, Mayor and Council. This agenda item is a follow-up of the work session we had back on the 6th. And on the 6th, we brought you two issues for consideration. One was the funding plan for the bond issue project, specifically taking one project, the tennis center, and moving it up one fiscal year to start that project earlier. And the second issue was the potential to allocate some additional funding revenue that has been generated in the account for this project, and the ability to basically add that to the revenues in the project. In this case, we're talking about two funding opportunities, or two revenue opportunities. One is interest, as we have deposited bond proceeds in interest-bearing accounts. It has actually generated interest and continues to do so. The other is what we call a bond premium. A bond premium is earned sometimes when you issue bonds when the market rate is actually lower than the face rate that's included on the bonds. So if you issue $10 million of bonds at 5%, the market may be willing to pay you $11 or $12 million for that because they believe that the interest rate is less than 5%. So in this case, we actually generated a net bond premium of about $1.4 million. And when we talked about this on the 6th, the proposal at that time was to include that funding as a supplemental funding for projects that had already been identified by council. There was some conversation about the council about whether that was appropriate to make this decision at this time. The council took a sort of consensus, and it was really kind of a 5-4 break about whether that was appropriate. So what's before you tonight are basically two issues. We've got a funding plan. We've taken that additional revenue. We've included it as a potential additional revenue unallocated at this time. So if the council wants to defer that decision, that option is available to you. We have, however, gone ahead and shown the project of the tennis center being moved up one fiscal year, which will allow us to move forward with the design of that project. So tonight you have that funding plan, which has those two changes in it from the one you saw on Monday, and also the capital project ordinance, which would allocate the funding for the tennis center.
Thank you, sir. So, council, just to kind of summarize this, and particularly for the listening audience, tonight we've been asked, the tennis center project was ready to go, and as we know, these larger projects, the longer you wait, inflation causes the cost of the projects to go up. So tonight's ask of the council is to move that up an entire year, since we have location and the other things that are necessary to move that project along. That is one of the asks tonight. The other ask, as the deputy city manager explained, when bonds are issued, when we sell them to the market, people were willing to pay more than what we had originally asked for, and it generated a surplus of a little over $1.4 million with the interest. And so the city attorney explained to the council during our work session that those monies had to be used for projects that are in this Parks and Rec bond category, and they had certain restrictions. We couldn't take that money and do sidewalks or street resurfacing or something like that. We had to specifically use it for that or not. And so tonight's decision will be based on those two things. It is important to know. I'll let Councilmember Ingram talk about this part. In our discussion, we also talked about location of projects. That is not a part of what the legislative ask is tonight. Basically, there were two things. There was the utilization of the additional money that we will have from interest, and there will be to move the project up. So those are the parameters of tonight's discussion, and with that, I'll call on Councilmember Ingram and then Waddell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Ballard, just for our general public and those that are here and watching, can you at least let us know where we are location-wise when it comes down to the sports complex? Because I do know that we do have citizens here that are interested in knowing exactly where we are from that council work session that was had.
Well, as I understand it, where we are now is the council has asked for additional information. We've had a number of different sites that we've analyzed over the last couple of years, and council has asked staff to provide additional information regarding the Fields Road location and continued consideration of MacArthur Road. We did discuss that at one point. The council was working on with Methodist University to upgrade the soccer complex. That transaction is not moving forward. We couldn't reach agreement with the Methodist University to make that happen. So we do have some need to identify a location for some additional soccer fields, if that is the interest of council. So at this point, that question is not answered.
Okay, thank you. And just one more question. I just want you to confirm that we as a council did agree that we were going to do an environmental study on Fields Road location just as a agreement, right?
I believe at this point, what we're going to do is to provide you information about the studies that we've done to this point and bring you options for additional research should you choose to do so. So that's what we're preparing, about sort of, what other information would you like us to pursue with some cost estimates and time estimates for pursuing that information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Councilmember Waddell?
Thank you. And Mr. Bauer, let's go back to the net bond proceed conversation about the $1.4 million. There were two options that were presented to council during the work session regarding those funds. Can you please articulate for the public what those two options were?
Absolutely. So the two options that we can do in compliance with the restrictions on those funds is either to use it for park projects or to use it to pay off some of the initial bonds that were issued.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Colvin, I don't have any more questions.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let me clear the board. And so, council, just a reminder, when you push the green, if you push the green again, I can't see it. So if you have a second round, push the red. I remember we covered that before. But, all right, council, any further discussion? Councilmember Dawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion to approve item number 6.010, Parks and Rec Bond Spending Plan.
There's a motion by Councilmember Dawkins to approve.
Second.
There's a second by Councilmember Wright. Any further discussion on the motion? All right, council, I'll look to you for action. All right, Madam Clerk, that is 9-1. Those voting in favor, Councilman Davis, Dawkins, Banks, Wright, Colvin, Jensen, Ingram, Hare, Kinston. Those voting in opposed, Councilmember Waddell. All right, motion carries. Item 7.0 is the public forum. This is a time that any Fayetteville City resident may have input and a voice in what goes on in their city. Due to policy restrictions, the forum will not last any longer than 30 minutes, and each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes to address the Fayetteville City Council on issues related to the city. Individuals wishing to speak at tonight's public forum should have signed up with the city clerk prior to the start of tonight's meeting. If you are here to speak on items that may be on tonight's agenda under public hearing, I ask that you please reserve your comments until that public hearing. So when you hear your name called by the city clerk, we ask that you would come to the podium, clearly state your name and home address for the record. Then, when you see the light that's located on the podium change from green to yellow, means you have 30 seconds left to speak. When you see the red light come on, it means your time has expired. Again, due to policy restrictions, we're unable to extend the given time. And just prior to the clerk calling those who have signed up to speak, I will call on Councilmember Wright to kind of explain something that I see many of you that have signed up to speak tonight are concerned with. Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I see that there are 14 people out of the 19 that signed up to speak from Wilmington subdivision tonight. And first of all, we're glad to have you here and for you to be concerned about issues in your community. And I wish more people would come out and connect with City Council during these type of hearings. I just wanted to let you know this is just an idea from the staff concerning connectivity of neighborhoods. These two neighborhoods, Southgate and Remington, have been in existence for many, many years. The council have not taken any official action and has not been briefed as a whole. I got briefed for the first time at 4 o'clock today concerning the connectivities and the overall idea of why it's important. I don't agree with the connectivity, and I'm going to recommend that this idea of connecting these two neighborhoods are dissolved. We function well for many years. And so, Mayor, with that, I just first of all just want to ask everyone that came concerning this Remington neighborhood just to stand for us tonight. Thank you for coming out. All right, thank you, Mayor. That's what.
All right. So many of you have signed up to speak. If you choose to continue to do so, we can. Madam Clerk, with that, if you can call your first speaker.
Yes, Mayor. We actually have 21 people signed up for tonight. Our first speaker is Miss Marsha Jones.
Mr. Mayor, if I may make another comment, for the sake of time, we understand what your concerns are. If you want to speak, you can, but this has been resolved. I've talked to staff already, and if you want to speak, you can, but if not, thank you all for coming. She said I can't.
All right, so we'll give a minute for those who choose to transition out. Certainly, you all are welcome to stay. The clerk, in the next few minutes, will proceed with calling any names that are on the list who still chose to speak. So those who would like to exit, if you could do so quietly at this time, and we'll resume the meeting in just a few seconds.
Subdivision.
All right, Madam Clerk, we'll go back to you.
Okay, I believe Marcia Jones is not here this evening. Our next speaker is Mr. Benny Wells. Mr. Benny Wells. Miss Shannon Ward. Miss Shannon Ward. Lawrence Bowers.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I am Lawrence Bowers, residing at 1191 Derbyshire Road. I understand the city of Fayetteville is considering opening 2 new roads, one from Hampton Roads, one from Southgate subdivisions, onto Remington Foxbury Road. Southgate and Hampton Oaks subdivisions were constructed at a time when Remington was but an open field, a single home with a farmer's vegetable stand facing 401. Both subdivisions are known as open with no covenants, conditions, restrictions, or homeowners associations. Those open conditions have served both of those subdivisions for many decades. Whereas Remington has been a planned neighborhood since its inception in 1991. And in the covenant it declared that all of the properties described above shall be held, sold, conveyed subject to the following easements, restrictions, covenants, and conditions, which are for the purpose of protecting value and desirability. And I believe the City of Fayetteville Broadwell Land Company may have violated my rights to due process, required legal notifications, and my right as a voting member of the Remington Homeowners Association. These are some things I had already planned to say. Councilmember Wright has already kind of pushed those aside, but I wanted to make sure, since I had taken the time to say it, to write it, to come up here and share it with you, that you would hear me.
We hear you, sir.
Because I've been in that neighborhood, phase 1, 30 years. So that's my little piece. So I thank you, council members, Mayor Govan. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Our next speaker is Mr. Ken Burrow. Crystal Whitfield. James Whitfield. Barbara Cathy. Stephen Bishop.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon, sir.
My name is Stephen Bishop, and I live on 6586 Barley Hill Court. I know there's not much to say, and thank you very much, Mr. Wright. I just want to make the comment that if this would go down in record as something that we could look at the future, that this issue would not come back up again and cause us to be here standing before you. That if there's some kind of official document that would be moved forward to the association, that we could refer to this back at a later time.
Well, during the public comment, we typically can't respond to you, but we're taking notes for your request, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you.
And we'll find an answer to that. Thank you.
Mr. Rick Marlowe, Miss Barbara Lewis, Miss Theodora Campbell,
Hello?
Hello. I am Theodora Campbell from 6556 Foxbury Road, Remington Subdivision, and I appreciate your response, Mr. Wright, but I'm in agreement with this gentleman that just spoke. I would really like something conveyed in writing that this would not happen. If you've been to Remington, it's a closed community. We have two entrances, Foxbury and Ryfield Road, and if you're out there at all, you see how much traffic we have during the day just trying to get onto 71st School Road. And my concern is a safety issue. If you open us up to those other subdivisions, what's going to happen is everybody from Rayford Road is going to try and bypass the elementary school, 71st Classical, and the high school that's there. And they're going to use us to cut through to get to Cliffdale. We don't have any sidewalks. And again, we're a tight-knit community. I walk my dog regularly. There's people who are out there that walk, they ride their bikes, and it's a safety issue. We can't have all that traffic going through. And in addition, we also have accountability. I work for the federal government, but I work mainly at home. And so when I'm out and I see people that don't belong in the neighborhood, I can recognize that. And there was a gentleman that I had to call because he was sitting at the four-way stop and just sitting. And then when somebody pulled up behind him, he did a U-turn on Curry Ford, and he was kind of in front of my home. So I just stopped and I asked him, I said, "Sir, can I help you?" Because I did not recognize the car. And he informed me that he was a city appraiser, property appraiser. And so I took out my phone, and I called the number on the city line, and they told me no, there were no appraisers in Remington, and they should be in an officially marked car and have proper identification. Of course, as he's hearing this conversation, he drove off. But if you open us up to everybody, we won't have that luxury of knowing our neighbors anymore, and you'd be moving that safety from us. So again, I strongly urge that we have something that would prevent this from coming back up again. Thank you.
Thank you. I did receive information from the city attorney in reference to the city council's ability to guarantee that this never comes up again. She did say that that the council will have this added to the official minutes, but no council can bind a future council's action. So legally, I'm not sure what we can do. I don't think it's an issue with this particular body from what I hear. But if I have anything else to add, I'll ask the attorney to give us the legal ramifications of it. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Jerome Harper, Dr. Joseph Johnson.
Let me first of all say that I'm Joseph Johnson. I live at 6520 Foxbury, the road that is under discussion. My journey to this podium actually started in 1964 as a resident of this city. Left in 68 when I graduated from Fayetteville State, and consciously came back in 97 and bought a home in Remington. And we bought it because it was a close community. We bought it because it was inclusive in terms of ethnicity, in terms of military, civilians. So I stayed to talk so it would just simply be on the record. In preparation for this meeting, I looked at our response time. Fayetteville is only one of 3 cities in the entire state of North Carolina that carries an ISO of 1. And that's in terms of responding and insurance. So I was a little in a quandary as to why there was a need for issues of response time to open up roads. And since I live on Foxbury, I just did not want to be in a community where that was turned into a city thoroughfare. So I appreciate your sensitivity. I'm very clear about the fact that we can't bind one council to the other. But what I would petition this board to do, and this council, is that as issues of that magnitude come up, whether it's in Buckhead, whether it's in Remington, to at least be inclusive enough to make us informed consumers of what the planning board is thinking about. So that's my issue here more than anything else. And on a personal note, in October of this year, because of some of the foreign traffic, I had someone to shoot into my home while I was standing in my den. And they found 9 shells in front of Foxbury for people who didn't live there. So when I heard that you were thinking about opening it up, and I think as my other Foxbury neighbor said, we know each other by sight, by name, by car, by everything. So that's my petition for you, and I wanted to stay so that you might have it on the record, okay? And I still have 30 seconds to talk, so. But I won't do that, but I appreciate the work that you're doing, and thanks for the opportunity to make my comments. Thank you so much.
Miss Gail Marlowe, Miss Kathleen Rupert,
Hello.
Hi, everybody. I know many of you. I've worked to keep neighborhoods safe in this city for over 25 years. And I came before you tonight to keep my neighborhood safe. And it was as simple as that. I come from one of the largest connected neighborhoods in the world. It's called Queens, New York. And the neighborhood I grew up now has a newsletter that is called The Lost Community, because the neighborhoods have all lost their identity by being connected. So I don't want that from my neighborhood. I served 20 years in the Army and then 25 years here. I've got 79 days left before I retire, and I just want my neighborhood to be as good as it has been and then to get better each day. So I thank you for listening to us. Councilmember Wright, I appreciate what you said to us, but please understand, this was a rally point of less than 2 weeks, and we're going to be ready for the next time. Just fair warning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Linda Jackson, Iman Aranime Mohammed Smith, Mr. Lester Maguire,
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And congratulations to the new city council persons. I did meet Councilman McLaughlin back at the polls. I went out too late and it was closing, so we had a good time talking in the parking lot. And she gave me information. However, I'm here for, could I hear what that is? Fields Road. And you all are talking about tennis courts and this and that and the other. It has been 25 years of getting to this point, and nothing has been done since 2006 in District 2. We didn't have a representative for a while, but now we have one. And during the time that we didn't have one, I had retired, and I went to sleep. They woke me up, says we need a city council member for District 2. So I woke up, and we got our city council member. Well, I went back to sleep again. This time, they woke me up again, and I'm here. I need my sleep. I have retired 3 times. 25 years in the Air Force, 32 years at Fayetteville State. And my classmate, high school classmate, was the mayor's mother. And for that, I did his wedding. Anyway, Back in, I think it was May of 18, says the location of an athletic complex has some residents feeling passed over. I live there. And the parkland likely would cost millions more to purchase and develop than Fields Road, which they're talking about over there at exit 295, the Interstate 295 near Fort Bragg. Well, boy, that was fast. Anyway, you sure you didn't push the button back there to get me out of here? Anyway, we want Fields Road, and I want to go back to sleep. So can you go ahead and start this, and I'll help you out anywhere I can. Our council member, Sister Ingram, I know she's going to do all she can, and we're going to support her. There are a lot of churches over there and a lot of votes. So, thank you. Oh, can I say one thing, Mayor? Just one couple of things. I met
One thing.
Brother Bishop was one of my trustees at church. Now he's a bishop. I mean, he's a minister. This is my former boss at Fayetteville State. So I'm going to have some back.
All right.
Mayor, our final speaker is Miss Mabel C. Smith.
How you doing, Councilwoman?
To God be the glory. Good evening, Mayor, council members. I am Mabel C. Smith. I reside at 1606 Deep Creek Road, resident of Cumberland County. All my life, I can't say Fayetteville because they pull us in to the city of Fayetteville for over 20-some years, as the former speaker said. That's east of the river, in case some of you don't know that there is a place across the river. Now, I'm here to bring you up to date. Some of you were on the council at the same time that I stood in this steel building here and spoke in reference for a recreation center or some type of building east of the river. There is no such thing has been done by the city of Fayetteville, even that many years behind. I called it the forgotten part of Fayetteville at that time because nobody seemed to care what happened east of the river. Now, there have been about 3 different parks and recreation bond issues that has been approved, including the east side of Fayetteville. If any one of you can go down there and find one, please find me and show me or tell me that there is one there. You look on the western part, I don't know how many you have, but you have a plenty of them. Some of them you have 2 or 3. East of the river, not a single one. Now, if you're, I see here you have again talking about bonds for parks and rec. Be sure that that complex center that you promised, the sports complex, stays where it is. You got enough on this side as it is. If you find that you can't do anything for us, parks and rec, then I suggest that you waive those living on that side from paying any further city taxes for parks and rec. Now, I'm not so sure that we don't need to seek into this to see if there has been some funds that has not been spent properly. I don't want to go that way. I'm asking you, please, please remember that there are some folk east of the Cape Fear River. God bless you. Have a good heart, and I hope we don't have to come back to go into any further discussion. Thank you.
Mayor, we have no further speakers.
All right, well, thank you, thank all of our speakers for this evening. Council, at this time, we have administrative reports, so that is something that is typically read online. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion. All right, good evening.